So last night I was at home while my GF was seeing her family at her place. She eventually goes on a night out with her friends from back in high school and proceeds to get extremely drunk, which is okay, and I was happy to let her enjoy the night. But towards the end she starts spamming me to respond all while pouring her heart out. So we call as she goes home and she pretty much unloads all her thoughts on this call. Now all of this is perfectly understandable so far as she had a lot to drink, but then she casually dropped a few things that didn't sit right with me and was really dismissive when I brought up how that made me feel pretty upset, including the fact that she texted my supervisor, we work at the same place, saying I'm going to be handing in my resignation notice soon, which was something I wanted to tell my colleagues myself, but now that they'll probably know before I'm next and it's going to be much less personal, not too big of a problem. But when I was a bit upset about that, she basically just told me to get a grip and that it's okay BC, everyone loves her at work, which wasn't even my point. LMAO. She then went on a rant about straight white men in a straight white dude for a good while until I cut the call early saying I was too tired. This is absolutely nothing like how she usually acts and it's getting pretty ridiculous. This morning she's acting like nothing happened and might not even remember everything. How do I politely tell her that I don't like this behavior at all without sounding controlling? And should I bring up what she was saying or not? When I was 27 I had a BF kindly sit me down and ask why I'd drank until I was sick or blackout. I didn't even realize I was that bad. He explained how my blackout actions hurt him, which felt awful not remembering any of it. I stopped drinking for a long time after that, and now I'm able to have one cider or an occasional cocktail at a nice dinner, but no longer drink like that. And even though we didn't work out, I'm thankful he had that conversation with me. Best wishes to y'all. I'm a guy. I used to drink to either I blacked out or passed out. It would either be an amazing fucking night or a shit show, and I just considered that drinking. And now ex had the same talk with me, basically telling me I would hurt her emotionally and embarrass her and also make her scared for my safety, as I'd often get into fights or wake up at random house parties etc. with strangers. It took me ages to learn to enjoy a few drinks and call it a night. It's taken 4 years for me to want to have a few drinks and go home safely to my bed. I'm going to say absolutely. Do her a huge favor and let her know how it made you feel to see her in that state. She needs to hear this, and it will be better for both you and her in the end. You can still do it with kindness. If she reacts crazy, maybe there are other issues that need to be looked at. Yeah, I'm currently having that conversation with her, and it's going well, and if this sort of asterisk happens again, I'm definitely not going to be as polite / would consider moving on. She texted your supervisor about your intentions? Nah, man. That is totally unacceptable. There is no realm in which a GF should be interfering with your job like this. This is being overlooked by everyone, it seems. This is absolutely abhorrent behavior, even if she was sober. Pretty sure it's illegal to do this as well, but I'm not sure. If your significant other is infringing on your intentions with your employer, that's grounds for separation, at the very least. I cannot believe how nonchalant Op is being about this specific aspect. I don't think you need to be polite. Yeah, maybe it's just strange to me getting mad at someone for stuff they did drunk, you know. Tell her to cut the drinking and stop getting drunk, or she is history. Facts. She then went on a rant about straight white men for a good while. Oh boy, I'm sure it was about how she loves them so much and loves you because of it /s. Standards are important. Don't date a drunkard. Dude, none of this is okay. My now ex-wife had a terrible drinking habit. She doesn't go out drinking often, but when she does she can't stop herself from getting ridiculously drunk. There was a time when she fell asleep outside on steps to the house. Then another time I found her sleeping on top of her burrito and nachos on the couch, ruining the couch. Oftentimes she loses her iPhone. It got so bad that one night she lied and said she slept over her friend's house, but instead I found out she went to a house party and got blasted and slept on their couch. Who knows what happened to her that night? At that moment, I told her I wanted a divorce. It's one of those things that, if she doesn't realize the destruction and hurt she's causing herself and the relationship, it's time to move on. Don't let an anchor drag your life down. Messing with someone else's job while intoxicated is not a good look, and by that I mean that it's a huge breach of trust and just such a rotten disrespectful thing to do. I'm actually not sure I would have stood for that had I been in your shoes. Stop trying to talk to someone when they are drunk. When someone is drunk discussing what they are saying that is hurtful is a lesson in futility. They are too impaired for this to be a rational, productive conversation. It's best to leave any conversation until the person is sober. Yeah, you're right, that was my mistake, and we are talking about it sober RN too. Tell her to stop it or you'll leave. There's a ton of people out there currently on that as we speak, although I'm trying to give her some leeway considering. Then dump her. She needs to be accountable for her actions, drunk or not. You need to be open, honest, and pretty frank about her behavior and how it's not acceptable and why. Had a similar issue. I didn't sugarcoat it and sent a paragraph back on how she made me feel. Doesn't happen since. Be a man. Leave her. Real men love dick. JK. Like a few others posted, sit her down and talk to her about why it bothers you. If she continues to blow you off, for real, leave her. Crappy drunk girl here. Tell her, preferably nicely and firmly, I don't drink a lot and had no idea what super drunk me could be like. I never had a wild period in my early 20s or whatever to learn how to be drunk. Didn't really start drinking until my late 20s at all. I had to learn when it is okay and not okay for me to drink. Having a bad day, I'm not going to have more than the equivalent of 2 shots a happy bus for me. If I'm in a great mood and great place in life, I can proceed beyond that. It took a lot of learning self-awareness to get good at being drunk. I messed up a few times, but also learned how to be more emotionally intelligent overall. Alcohol is a fun intoxicant. She can learn to use it responsibly too. This sounds like a train wreck waiting to happen. Hope not, LMAO. Why did she have your supervisor's number? He said they work at the same place. Straight white man thing is a huge red flag. She is generalizing people based on their gender, race, and sexual orientation, and you fall into the exact group she is generalizing. She does not respect you because of your gender, race, and sexual orientation, and that is a very big problem. You cannot control other people, you can only control yourself. Sit her down when you both are in a good mood and tell her how she behaved and how it made you feel that she pulled you and your job into her drunken ramblings. If she's dismissive of your feelings or trying to gaslight you or even deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender, then reevaluate if that is a person you want to be with. It is so unacceptable that she's texting your colleagues about you. That would be a deal breaker for me if a guy did that. I have personally broken things off with a guy for his drinking. You're allowed to do that, just so you know. As an alcoholic woman in several relationships, 6 months clean now, over 11 years, I remember so fondly my exes who told me straight up what I had done and how it obviously was bad. There was so much respect in that, such a rare estimation of me as an adult. But mostly few they let me know. I cold gone on with so much bullshit. If not for them, I'm so thankful. And I'm glad they knew they deserved better than that treatment, because God knows they do. Be honest. Good luck. The outcome 100% depends on her. Not an iota of how upset she might be is your fault and her job. Also, you can rightfully be pissed off at the work thing. Someone getting wasted on going on diatribes about insert race, gender, sexual orientation here would be a deal breaker for me, but you could probably just start with a tough conversation. Her behavior is messed up, including telling your manager. But this was a one-time deal, it seems. You said yourself thought was completely different. Maybe she had a lot on her mind from her old friend, so while extremely drunk she went in a tangent. Sometimes stupid asterisk happens. I wouldn't look so much into one-time point, but if it continues that's different. This is how she usually acts when drunk though, slightly attention seeking and really chatty. It's just never been anything bad up until now. I feel like I can't just dismiss this, but at the same time it feels strange to get mad at someone for what they did drunk. BC it, she wasn't RLY in control. I guess I could give it a pass for now if I tell her what she was saying and how that made me feel without getting too much into it. Drunk talk is sober thoughts. If she's ranting about middle-aged white men while she's drunk, she clearly has a toxic, feminist mindset when she's sober. She's simply getting what she wants from you, and don't be surprised if she eventually cheats on you. You can talk to her about it sober and see how she responds. Don't be too confrontational about it, but mention how it made you feel that she did that. She'll either apologize or she'll deflect and make the "I was drunk" excuse and dismisses. If she does the latter, that raises a red flag to me. Yeah, I spoke to her about it and she apologized and all that. I just don't want it to happen again. I also said she RLY shouldn't be getting that drunk if it's making her like this. I'm feeling a lot better now that we've talked, but if this asterisk happens again, I'm out. A racist, homophobic, insensitive drunk. You have a real prize here. I'm not a drinker and I don't date drinkers. As far as I'm concerned, if you drink to the point that you control what you do, you shouldn't be drinking. He telling your business to people like she did is way out of line. Yeah, not wrong, but there's a bit of a drinker's culture here. I'm in the UK, so it's way more acceptable to get blackout drunk over here. We both do it, and when we get drunk together nothing like this ever happens, and it's usually RLY nice. It's just when she's drunk alone she sometimes becomes a bit of an emotional mess, and last night was probably the worst of that. But yeah, that's the main thing I'm pissed about. BC, it was such a personal thing, even if she did it while drunk and not RLY knowing what she was doing. Get really drunk and unload on her like she did you. Let it all out. Full purge. You will feel so much better. Make sure you do this before you get really drunk and pass out, so when you wake up you can just say you don't remember anything. Win-win, right? My GF will go on rants about how she hates straight white men so much and how they are the worst and blah blah blah. And I, as a straight white male, am not sure why she thinks I want to sit there and listen to that. Sometimes if I push back about how she's making huge generalizations she just gets mad.